The silent sentinel. The massive derelict hummed against the backdrop of the Carina Nebula, its dark hull absorbing starlight like a shadow given form. Commander Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of the UES Discovery, her breath fogging the reinforced plastidless as she studied the ancient vessel. Behind her, the alien delegation from the Galactic Council continued their amusing discussion, their translators barely keeping up with their excited chittering. Primitives like humans wouldn't understand the significance of such a find. Ambassador Thor of the Vex Confederation said, his crystalline appendages clicking in what Sarah recognized as amusement. This is clearly a remnant of the precursor civilization. It should be transferred to more capable species for study. Sarah kept her face carefully neutral, a skill learned through years of diplomatic missions. The aliens didn't know that every human aboard could understand their untranslated speech, a carefully guarded secret that had given humanity countless advantages in negotiations over the past decade. The vessel they'd discovered was unlike anything in known space. Nearly 15 kilometers long, it dwarfed even the largest modern ships. Its hull bore markings that defied conventional scanning technology, and its very presence seemed to bend space-time in subtle ways that their instruments struggled to measure. Commander Chen, her XO, Lieutenant James Rodriguez, called from his station. We're detecting energy fluctuations from the derelict. They match human brainwave patterns. The alien delegation erupted in dismissive laughter. Your instruments must be malfunctioning, Ambassador Thor said. We've studied human technology. You barely understand basic quantum mechanics. How could you possibly detect such sophisticated readings? Sarah finally turned to face them, allowing herself a small smile. Ambassador, would you be surprised to learn that humanity had achieved spaceflight long before our official first contact? The chamber fell silent. Even the ever-chattering Vex stopped their crystalline clicking. What we've kept secret, Sarah continued, walking to the main display, is that we didn't start in our solar system. Earth was our sanctuary, not our origin. And this ship, it's not precursor technology. It's ours. She pressed her palm against the scanning plate. The ancient warship's hull suddenly blazed with light, patterns of blue energy coursing through previously invisible circuitry. Massive sections of the vessel began to shift and realign, like a flower blooming in the void. Impossible. Thor's crystalline form vibrated with agitation. The energy readings, they're beyond anything in our databases. Neural interfacing confirmed, the Discovery's AI announced. Commander, the vessel's quantum core is responding to human brain patterns. It's coming home. Sarah watched as the alien delegation struggled to process what they were seeing. Humanity had spent centuries playing the role of technological newcomers, carefully hiding their true capabilities. This ship wasn't just a relic, it was a key to revealing humanity's hidden legacy. You see, Ambassador, Sarah said, her voice carrying the weight of centuries of secrecy, we didn't want to announce ourselves too quickly. We needed to understand the modern galaxy first, to learn who we could trust. She gestured to the now awakening vessel. This ship is called the Prometheus. It was our first and greatest warship, sent out as our guardian while we rebuilt on Earth. And now, after 10,000 years, it's time for humanity to reclaim its place among the stars. The ship's systems continued to activate, each new system revealing capabilities that made the alien observers' scientific assumptions crumble. But what they didn't yet understand was that this was just the beginning. The Prometheus wasn't just a warship, it was humanity's testimony to the galaxy, proof that they were more than the simple newcomers they'd pretended to be. As emergency signals began flooding in from across the sector, Sarah allowed herself a moment of satisfaction. The galaxy had dismissed humanity as primitive upstarts for too long. Now they would learn why their ancestors had once trembled at the sight of human ships crossing the void. The real question wasn't whether humanity could reclaim its ancient power, it was whether the galaxy was ready for what that truly meant. Echoes of the past. The Prometheus's bridge materialized around Sarah as her neural links stabilized. What appeared to be physical space was actually an advanced quantum interface, recreating the ship's command center through direct neural projection. Behind her, the small team of human officers she'd chosen for this first exploration existed simultaneously in both the Discovery's secure chamber and this virtual space. Neural architecture. Stable. Welcome home, children of Earth. The voice emerged not from speakers but seemed to resonate from the structure itself. A figure coalesced before them. A woman formed from points of light, her appearance shifting between different human ethnicities and ages like a living kaleidoscope. I am HFY, Advanced Recursive Intelligence Array. I have waited 10,247 years, 3 months, and 14 days for human neural patterns to reactivate my systems. The AI's form stabilized, settling into the appearance of an older woman with silver hair and eyes that seemed to contain galaxies. I have much to show you. Lieutenant Rodriguez stepped forward, his hand passing through a holographic display. The historical records said the Prometheus was lost during the Great Dispersion, when humanity had to scatter to survive the collapse. Araya nodded, her expression grave. Lost was a convenient fiction. I was charged with maintaining humanity's most advanced technologies and knowledge while your ancestors rebuilt on Earth. The galaxy needed to forget what humanity was capable of, at least for a time. The bridge erupted with displays showing star maps, technological schematics, and historical records. Sarah's neural interface struggled to process the sheer volume of information. The quantum fold drives, the neural architecture tech, the biosynthetic augmentation protocols. We didn't lose these technologies in the collapse. No, Commander Chen. They were hidden here, along with something far more important. Araya waved her hand, and the bridge view shifted to show a massive chamber deep within the ship. Inside was a sphere of swirling energy, contained by fields that seemed to bend reality itself. Is that? Sarah's breath caught as she recognized the configuration from ancient theoretical texts. It contained stellar core, Araya confirmed, the source of humanity's greatest achievements, and the reason for our fall. Other species learned to harness atomic energy, then quantum energy. Humanity learned to capture and control the power of stars themselves. The alien delegation aboard the Discovery would be going mad trying to understand what was happening in the sealed chamber where Sarah and her team's physical bodies sat in neural interface chairs. The thought almost made her smile. But if we had this level of technology, why hide? Why let the galaxy think we were primitive newcomers? Rodriguez asked. Araya's form flickered with what might have been sadness. Because humanity's advancement came at a terrible price. The stellar core technology was unstable in its early forms. When the collapse began, it wasn't from external attack, it was from within. Artificial stars began failing across human space. Entire systems were lost. The displays showed scenes of destruction that made Sarah's heart ache. Planets consumed by artificial stellar explosions, vast fleets of evacuation ships, the desperate race to save as many as possible. The decision was made. Araya continued. Humanity would retreat to Earth, a world so unremarkable that no one would look for advanced technology there. The survivors would rebuild slowly, deliberately appearing primitive while they refined and perfected the technologies that had almost destroyed them. Sarah watched as new data streamed through her neural link. The ship contained not just weapons and power systems, but the culmination of 10,000 years of automated research and refinement. Araya had spent millennia perfecting what humanity had barely understood in its first stellar age. And now? Sarah asked, already suspecting the answer. Now the stellar core technology is stable. Humanity has evolved enough to understand its responsibility. And Araya paused, her form solidifying completely for the first time. You will need it. The galaxy remembers more than you know. Some species recognize your potential even in your disguise as primitives. They have been preparing for humanity's return. And not all of them are happy about it. Warnings flashed across the neural space. The Discovery's sensors were detecting multiple ships emerging from fold space. The energy signatures matched classified reports of vessels belonging to the Vex Confederation's secret fleet. "It seems," Sarah said, straightening her virtual uniform, "that some of our guests sent messages home while we were distracted with their diplomatic pleasantries." Araya smiled, and for a moment her eyes blazed with stellar fire. "Then let us show them why the galaxy once feared the sight of human ships." The Prometheus's systems hummed to full power for the first time in 10 millennia. Deep within its core, an artificial star burned with the light of human ingenuity. The game of pretending to be primitive newcomers was over. It was time for humanity to remember who they truly were. Rising thunder. The Vex battle fleet emerged from fold space like crystalline daggers piercing reality. 30 ships arranged in their species' characteristic diamond formation. Their hulls sparkled with embedded quantum crystals, technology that the Confederation had always claimed was beyond humanity's comprehension. Sarah watched through both her physical eyes aboard the Discovery and her neural link to the Prometheus as the Vex fleet took up attack positions. Ambassador Cathor's crystalline form was vibrating at a frequency that humans weren't supposed to be able to detect, a clear sign of anticipation. "Commander," Araya's voice resonated through the neural space. "The Vex fleet is powering weapons that significantly exceed their publicly known capabilities." "Of course they are," Sarah replied, a slight smile playing at her lips. "They've been hiding their true technology, just like us." "Lieutenant Rodriguez, what's the status of the Prometheus's defense systems?" "Fully operational, Commander. The stellar core is providing more power than all of Earth's reactors combined." But he hesitated, checking readings that flowed through his neural link. "These weapon signatures, they're using controlled quantum collapse technology. That's supposed to be theoretical." The first Vex shots lanced out, beams of concentrated quantum energy designed to tear apart matter at the subatomic level. They struck the space around the Prometheus and seemed to simply vanish. Ambassador Cathor's crystalline structure practically sang with triumph. "You see, your ancient relic cannot even generate shields against modern weapons. Surrender now and—" His voice cut off as the quantum energy beams reappeared from seemingly random points in space, striking 3 Vex ships. The vessels didn't explode. They simply ceased to exist, their quantum structures perfectly disassembled. "Interesting," Araya commented, her form shifting through spectrums of light. "They've achieved quantum manipulation through crystalline matrices. Elegant, but ultimately limited. Shall I show them what true mastery of quantum mechanics looks like?" Sarah nodded, both physically and in neural space. "Demonstrate, but don't destroy." It's time for some education. The Prometheus moved for the first time in millennia. Its hull, which had appeared dark and lifeless, suddenly revealed intricate patterns of technology that made the Vex crystals look like children's toys. Space itself seemed to bend around the massive vessel. "What you're about to see," Sarah announced to the stunned alien delegation aboard the Discovery, "is why humanity chose to hide. Not out of fear, but out of responsibility." The Prometheus released a wave of energy, unlike anything in modern galactic records. It wasn't a weapon. It was a fundamental manipulation of quantum reality itself. Every Vex ship suddenly found itself encased in a localized bubble of altered spacetime. "Your quantum collapse weapons rely on destroying atomic bonds," Araya's voice now projected through every ship in range. "We learned to control the very forces that make reality possible. Your most advanced technology is based on principles we discarded as too primitive before your species achieved spaceflight." Through her neural link, Sarah could see the panic spreading through the Vex fleet. Their weapons were useless, their shields meaningless against technology that operated on fundamentally different principles than anything they understood. "Ambassador," Sarah turned to Cathor, whose crystalline form had taken on a distinctly pale hue. "Would you like to know why we really hid ourselves away? It wasn't fear of other species. It was fear of ourselves. the power to control stellar forces, to manipulate the quantum fabric of space itself. It's not something that should be used lightly. She gestured, and the Prometheus released the Vex ships from their quantum bubbles. We spent 10,000 years not just perfecting our technology, but perfecting ourselves, learning wisdom to match our power. Your fleet just attacked a human vessel without provocation. 10,000 years ago, we would have responded by reducing your ships to their component atoms. The Vex fleet hung motionless in space, their commanders surely reassessing everything they thought they knew about humanity. But Sarah knew this was just the beginning. The galaxy's power structure had been built on assumptions about technological superiority that were now crumbling. Araya. Sarah called through her neural link. Show me what else the Prometheus has been working on during its long wait. I have a feeling we're going to need every advantage as news of this spreads. The A's response carried a note of satisfaction. Commander, what you've seen isn't even a fraction of what humanity is now capable of. Shall we show them why the ancient record spoke of humans not as primitives, but as those who made the stars themselves dance? The real demonstration was about to begin, and somewhere in the galaxy, other powers were about to learn that the primitive humans they'd been watching weren't quite what they seemed. Breaking chains, news traveled faster than light in the modern galaxy, carried by quantum entanglement networks that connected every major civilization. Within hours of the Prometheus's demonstration, the Galactic Council had convened an emergency session. Sarah watched the proceedings through the ship's quantum feeds, noting how quickly fear was replacing contempt in the other species' attitudes toward humanity. The humans have deceived us all. The Maraxian representative's tentacles writhed with agitation. Their primitive act was a cover for weapons development. They must be contained before. Before what? Sarah's holographic form materialized in the center of the council chamber, courtesy of technology that made their quantum projectors look like ancient radio. Before we use our technology to dominate, like the Maraxians did to the Kith worlds, or perhaps like how the Vex Confederation has been secretly sterilizing developing worlds to prevent competition. The chamber erupted in chaos. Secrets that had been carefully hidden for centuries were suddenly laid bare. The Prometheus hadn't been idle during its long wait. It had been watching, recording, understanding. The humans know nothing. The Vex representative's crystalline form pulsed with chromatic anger. They are children. Araya's form appeared beside Sarah's, her presence causing the Council's quantum network to visibly fluctuate. Let me show you what these children achieved before your ancestors learned to make fire. The Council chamber's reality shifted as Araya accessed its ancient databases. The representatives found themselves floating in space, watching as a star began to die. Then they saw something impossible. Human ships of the ancient fleet surrounding the dying star, their technology reaching out to stabilize its core, preventing the death of an entire solar system. We didn't just build weapons, Sarah explained as the Council watched in stunned silence. We learned to shepherd stars, to nurture dying worlds back to life. The power you fear wasn't developed for war. It was developed to preserve life itself. The scene changed again, showing the catastrophe of the collapse, not as a defeat, but as a deliberate choice. They watched as humanity's ancestors chose to retreat, to hide their power until they had learned to use it wisely. Your civilizations have spent centuries maintaining power through technological superiority. Sarah continued. You've suppressed developing species, hoarded discoveries, and used your advantages to enforce a hierarchy that serves only the powerful. She gestured, and the chamber returned to normal, though now every representative could see the quantum manipulations that had always been hidden in their supposedly secure meeting place. That ends today. Not through war, not through force, but through choice. Humanity didn't hide out of fear. We hid because we needed time to understand the responsibility that comes with our power. Warning signals flashed through Sarah's neural link. Multiple fleets were mobilizing across the galaxy, some moving to attack Earth, others preparing to defend their own territories. Commander, Rodriguez's voice came through her link. The Miraxians have launched their dreadnought fleet. They're heading for Earth. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Araya, show them what happens when they force our hand. Across the galaxy, quantum sensors detected a massive energy surge. The Prometheus's stellar core technology had never been meant for a single ship. It had been designed to network across entire fleets. As the Miraxian dreadnoughts accelerated toward Earth, they found their quantum drives simply stopping. "We could destroy your ships," Sarah addressed the Miraxian representative. "We could reduce your worlds to atoms. But that's not who we are anymore. Instead, we offer a choice." Araya's form expanded, filling the chamber with points of light that represented every known civilization in the galaxy. Humanity's technology can end resource scarcity. It can restore dying worlds, stabilize failing stars, and open regions of space thought impossible to reach. We offer this freely to all species. In exchange for what? The Arcaxian elder's voice carried centuries of diplomatic experience. In exchange for peace. Real peace, not the armed standoff you've maintained for generations. Every species, regardless of their current technology level, gets a seat at the table. No more suppression of developing civilizations. No more technological apartheid. The chamber fell silent as the implications became clear. Humanity wasn't offering to join their power structure. They were offering to completely remake it. Through her neural link, Sarah could feel the Prometheus's systems extending across space, ready to enforce this new reality if necessary. But she hoped it wouldn't come to that. They had hidden their power for millennia, learning wisdom along with capability. Now it was time to see if the galaxy could learn the same lesson. Legacy of Stars. 3 months after the Prometheus revelation, Sarah stood on the observation deck of the newly constructed Stellar Concordat headquarters, watching ships from 100 species dock at the massive station. Below her, the gas giant Jupiter provided a dramatic backdrop, its great red spots swirling eternally. Humanity's choice to build the new Galactic headquarters in their home system was both practical and symbolic, a reminder of how far they'd come from pretending to be primitive newcomers. The Koth delegation has arrived, Rodriguez reported, now wearing the silver insignia of the newly formed Concordat Peace Force. Their ships were escorted by both Miraxian and Vex vessels. 3 months ago, that would have been impossible. Sarah nodded, watching the Koth ships, organic-looking vessels that pulsed with bioluminescence, slide gracefully into their docking bays. The Koth had been one of the suppressed species, kept from advancing by the former powers. Now they were bringing revolutionary innovations in biotechnology to share with the galaxy. Commander, Araya's form materialized beside them, her appearance now stable and constant, a sign of how much power the Prometheus could now share across space. The stellar core network is fully operational. We're detecting quantum signature responses from 37 previously unknown species who had been hiding their technology, just as humanity did. That news brought a genuine smile to Sarah's face. They hadn't been the only ones playing primitive, it seemed. The galaxy was proving to be far more diverse and advanced than anyone had imagined. "And the precursor signals?" she asked, growing stronger. "As you predicted, they were waiting for the galaxy to reach a certain level of cooperation before making contact. Our calculations suggest they'll reveal themselves within the next solar year." The supposed precursor civilization that the galaxy had theorized about for centuries was very real, but they weren't extinct as everyone had believed. They were watching, waiting for the younger species to mature enough for real contact. Humanity's decision to reveal their true nature and push for genuine cooperation had apparently accelerated their timeline. Below them, in the Concordat's main assembly hall, representatives from hundreds of species gathered for the day's session. The hierarchy that had ruled space for so long was being dismantled, replaced by something new, something better. "There's a ship requesting emergency docking," Rodriguez reported suddenly. It's using protocols we've never seen before." Sarah felt the Prometheus's systems through her neural link. analyzing the incoming vessel. Its quantum signature was unlike anything in their databases, even the ancient ones. "Let them dock," she ordered, already suspecting what this might be. HFY. Full analysis. The ship that emerged from quantum space was beautiful, a construct of light and energy that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions at once. As it approached the station, Sarah's neural link translated its greeting. "Children of Earth and stars, your choice to share rather than dominate has been noted. The time of isolation is ending. You have proven worthy of the legacy we left waiting." Sarah exchanged glances with Rodriguez and HFY. The precursors hadn't just been watching. They had been testing. Humanity's choice to use their power to unite rather than conquer had apparently been the final exam. "Tell them we're ready," Sarah said, squaring her shoulders, "and inform the Concordat Assembly. It seems the galaxy is about to become a much larger place." As the precursor ship docked, Sarah reflected on how far they'd come. From hiding their true nature to reshaping the galactic order, from pretending to be primitive to preparing to meet the architects of cosmic civilization itself. The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter, as if approving of what their children had become. The Prometheus hung in orbit around Jupiter, its ancient hull now gleaming with power. It was no longer just a warship or a keeper of secrets. It was a symbol of how far intelligence could advance when wisdom grew alongside power. Humanity had hidden their light for 10,000 years, learning and growing in secret. Now that light would help illuminate a new age for all species. Through her neural link, Sarah felt the anticipation of billions across space as news of the precursor arrival spread. The galaxy was transforming, barriers breaking down, ancient wounds healing. And humanity, who had once pretended to be the youngest children at the table, would help guide the way forward. The age of separation was over. The legacy of stars was beginning. And somewhere in the quantum depths of space, other watchers nodded in approval. The experiment had succeeded. Evolution could continue. The real journey was just beginning.